welcome back and welcome to the top 5 best beer school builds in The Witcher 3. This time we are starting with actually my favorite build, which I also done a long version of it. It is the wheel build. I mean I call it the wheel build, but it's kind of like a hybrid build. We're here in beautiful Skellige and we're going really fast, so we have enough time to show all the top 5 builds. So if you want to have the long version of the video, check out the link. I connected all longer videos, explanations how this build is so strong and what makes it special about it. So getting really fast over the thing. What I always use first is Super Hangman's Venom, or let's say any oil about the enemy. I use the 209 Sea Sword with Severance increase, same with the Aaron died, similar situation. Then using the Grandmaster Laundry Ursine armor with Levity, so everything is light armor. Then using Sign Intensity, which is beneficial. Guard of Reverse Crossbow, really important, which is mostly pretty often Echinite Decoction, Echimara Decoction, Troll Decoction, and Waterhead Decoction. Going over to the build, being here, most of them are the fast attacks, 2 strong attacks, fleet-footed, resolve, razor focus. For alchemy, using hidden tolerance, acquired tolerance, synergy, protective coating for more protection as a build, so being more tanking, killing spree. All of that will be fueled by Euphoria, strongest mutagen in the game, and for sure using cat school techniques because of the light armor, the focus, and the metabolic control. So that's in my favorite build. And if we're going into fight, let's make it simple. Respawn the same what I did for the long video, which I can... Okay, I need to show that again because I forgot one thing I forgot in the first recording. Is actually when I'm entering combat, the silent intensity goes higher to 206 and damage increases. So for example, the longer we are killing, the more we kill. I mean, finishing 20 of them is one of the easiest thing ever. So yeah, if you're going next to the build, so we see the increase in silver and steel sword damage. Yeah. So we're having highest adrenaline points, so we should actually have a crazy amount of damage. So as you can see here, 276 sign intensity and 17,000 and 16,000 damage. Just don't take any damage right now, so we just need to... And I mean, whatever you want to fight in this game, it makes it actually super easy. Yeah, that game is actually an easy mode.
That's enough of that.
Come on, fight me. And easy going. Yeah. Thanks very much for watching. Okay. Well, thanks so much for this build number 1, and see you guys in build number 2. Hello everyone, and a short notice. I started a Discord channel. The link is down below, where you can enter my community in Discord, where I will be showcasing a couple of builds. You can also have the opportunities like, hey, Jeff, have you tried this build? So you can also recommend me builds I can include into my top 5, or in general explain the builds, what makes them strong, what makes them special. So if you're interested in that, the link is down below. You can also have the opportunity to like showcase your own builds. So for example, if you would like, just like, hey, I have a really nice build which is really strong in The Witcher 3, you can put it into the Discord. We can have a conversation about it. We can also chat about it. It's like, okay, how can we make this build stronger? Is it fun to play? And or maybe I can include it in the next build, and all your builds can be part of the top 5 builds. And then I will link, for example, your account included into the next build. So if you're interested in that, follow the link down below, and see you guys in the Discord channel. Bye. So getting to build number 2 of the top 5 beer school builds. This time a bit more special. It is not a Euphoria build, it is an Metamorphosis build. So we get the different potions, which is also actually a pretty strong build. Especially, I mean, you could also delete a couple of potions, but I mean, the problem is you don't get the potions back. So I will not do that, but if you want to keep a Metamorphosis build, you can delete all potions and just have the relevant ones, which you would like to use. But yeah, the special thing about that build is a couple of things changes this time, but not that much. So we use gas heft this time because of the chance to poison. I mean, and we still have the 100% critical hit damage bonus and the 115% critical hit chance, which makes it a bit easier in fights to trigger Metamorphosis. Still, we have here the critical hit chance, the best we can get. Nothing changes here, but we have a difference. Guardian Gardens gauntlets, light armor, because the critical hit damage bonus of 50%, which makes a huge difference. And in the build, we are focusing on the wheel and a couple of strong attacks. So increase strong attack critical hit chance by 12%. 12%. We are using here a bit more alchemy than usual. So the typical 3 of them. Then we are using protected coating just to have more protection. Potion effects, so we're off until potion toxicity falls to 50%, which is really important. I mean, there's also each potion does inhaled heals, but it's not really necessary. Potion gives of activating the effect of another randomly selected potion without additional cost. That would also be an option what we can use. But yeah, so blades oil do not wear off. Up to 3 different oils can be applied to thing. I would change that with that actually, just to have a better overview, and I think it's this one. Yeah, so that's in my opinion not really necessary. Using Hunter Instinct for the critical hit damage. Then we're using Killing Spree, and we're using Endurance Pain, so increase maximum vitality by 30% when toxicity exceeds the safe threshold. And when consumed, mutagen decoction increases maximum vitality by 900. And we don't use that because we are actually quite full with everything, and we are using Metamorphosis. So difference with Metamorphosis is applying critical effects to opponents activates a random decoction for 120 seconds with no toxicity cost. The maximum number of decoctions that can be activated simultaneously by limitation is 5, which in a sense help you see better in dark places. Yeah, so so we will trigger that thing, applying critical effects. So we still use our decoctions, which are Echidna decoction heroes, but we will spawn a couple of enemies first. The Spiritonio. So we spawn more enemies because this build is so crazy strong. And I think we don't take any damage, so as you can see here, this build is just ridiculous. Like nothing stands a chance against this build. So it is after the Euphoria, actually one of my favorite. I mean, the thing is, the difference here, it is less controlled than Euphoria. With Euphoria, you exactly know what you're getting. But I mean, we have a toxicity of 90%. We don't take any damage. And I mean, look at that damage. It's like crazy. So, and look what we all have. 4 different decoctions. Troll decoction. And here. And let's see what damage is getting right now. Well, this build is just crazy strong. So we have 44,000 damage and it's 31,000 steel silver sword damage and 17,000 vitality, which is crazy. Let's spawn a griffin to make it a bit more challenging. spawn one. I hope. No, it's... Oh, okay, I took some damage, but it's literally nothing. And I didn't even put a... Let's see if I would take more damage. I literally don't even take any damage because I have so much vitality. It's such a crazy strong build. Oh, okay. It is just crazy. I think it's also one of my favorite builds you can have. And bye. Oh, he switched. Not bad. Die. Okay. So, yeah. That was one of my favorite, I mean, probably my second favorite build, except my hybrid build. And yeah, let's jump into build number 3. So, welcome to build number 3. This one is the tank build based on the Metamorphosis. So if you want to see the long version of this build, check out the link in the description. It's the third build. We are going here really fast over it. So we're having Sonite Steel Sword. The guests have pretty similar to the build before. Just small changes this time. We are having here the Retribution. So we have a heavy armor set, not the light armor. And we're having a chance of 30% returning to potion to the attacker. Nothing changes a lot. You can also have other things like deflecting arrows and so on. Doesn't really make a big difference. Here we're using resistance to elemental damage. So reason said, so we just have more protection in that case. So we don't really need to use Quen because we are focusing on the Metamorphosis. That's the reason we don't focusing too much on science, because it really doesn't really boost a lot in science. So we are focusing here on elemental damage. There's also other versions of it with you can build a tank build with Euphoria, but we're focusing here on Metamorphosis just to have some variety in the builds. And yeah, nothing changes a lot. You could also use Quen just to have more Quen protection. Yeah, that's also possible. It really depends on the way how you want to play. We're usually focusing on combat, fast and strong attacks, using similar resolve and razor focus always getting used. Our 3 similar ones: protective coating to always have more protection, tissue transmutation and endurance pain for higher vitality, killing spree and hunter instinct for a boost in critical hit damage to trigger Metamorphosis, and delayed recovery to get more longer potion effects. And one thing that I changed this time than the normal Metamorphosis build is the Beer School technique. So each piece of heavy armor increases maximum vitality and the strong attacks by 5%. And for sure using Metamorphosis. So jumping in the build. So we're making it really short. We have our enemies here. I already played, actually was attacked by the Echidna. But yeah, so we have a lot of different potions: Algul, Archicast, Katakan, which is pretty effective, Fort Kale and Basilic. And if we're going here, using the spin, we're doing a pretty insane damage, having the critical hit damage again. And if you can see here now in this build, we're having a crazy amount of vitality, crazy amount of Silver Sword attack. So crazy nice and crazy strong build again. Here we can also use the Tony All, so we're having faster stamina regeneration. And if you're going here, yeah, we're triggering really easily the critical hit, and the longer we're in the fight, the more critical hits we're doing, the stronger we are getting. So crazy Silver Sword and Steel Sword attack, crazy vitality. For example, if we're still using the Super Hang for humans, and for example, I'm getting hit by a human, okay. Ja, stell's ab, ich bin im Video. So, and then this one. Okay, let's maybe get this one first away. The Echina. Oh, yep, that we didn't want to get that. Changing the swords. So for example, if I'm taking any damage, I don't really take a lot of damage from this build. So we're having our protection on, we're having pretty high vitality, and it is actually pretty tanky. So for example, I don't really get a lot of damage from here without having the Quen sign activated. Also because the elemental damage, so this one is a bit more unique for other enemies. So let's finish this off. So, come on. Doing it pretty easy. Fast attack. And let's go. Yep. That was the tanky Metamorphosis build. We'll see you in build number 4. It's coming to build number 4, which is the strong attack build. So I already recorded the long version of it. That's the short version, fitting to our top 5 builds. We go really fast. If you want to see the long video, it's down below. Here we're having Tucson Knight Steel Sword and Arendite, the strongest swords in the game. We are having not the levity, we have Retribution, so because we need a heavy armor set. Using Quen Sign Intensity for extra protection, using our typical decoctions. And for the character build, we're focusing on strong attacks, always having the similar ones with us. Here we're using our typical 3-4, which I always use when we're having Euphoria. This one is focusing on Euphoria. On top I put Tissue Transmutation for extra vitality. As you can see here, it is more effective. You can still include more damage if we want with any other combat skills, but it's not really necessary to build strong enough. So I would rather have more vitality than, like, let's say 15% more damage. Then we're using our focus, metabolic control for toxicity, and the beer school techniques for heavy armor, maximum vitality, and strong attack. Pretty fast this time. Let's jump into the build. In this one, I want to focus actually on one shot actually. So we're having here the trolls, which are there, and they're not really paying attention to me. Thanks for that. Come on, guys. Come on. Hello, hello, hello. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So let's say hello. And what are you doing here? So that was the easy shot. Now, and let's see, and let's go. We have a really high range, so it makes. And yeah, this build is literally one-shotting everything. We spawn again 3 of them because it was so easy to kill them. So the interesting thing is here, oops, we are here having completely our Arendite max out, so the damage is even stronger. We don't really, we have elemental damage because of the coding. Yeah, so actually, and normally, oops, yeah, we didn't hit him from front. So let's spawn just one to show damage we can. Oh shit! Yeah, thanks, nice. That was my mistake. I didn't. Okay. So we spawn one. Here will be one. We have super high. Let's see the damage. 8,000. Vitality is 11,000. Sun intensity is 210. It actually goes higher the longer it works. But this build is not for like wow, thanks for that. This one is not focusing on wheel and like a lot of enemies, so it is better if we just have one enemy, like the rock troll. I just want to boost up my vitality. So the higher the vitality is in this build, the more damage I give the enemy. So I'm just doing some of that. Yep. No, we're not. So. Come on here, come here. Stay in front of me. And that should be... Oh, okay. Nearly one hit. That was probably because of the missing out of the damage. So, coming here, and I sadly don't have one of the things anymore, but everything in this build will be one shot if we use Rend. Charge the build, and then Erendite is on level 10, as you can see, and yeah, this build is mostly on fitting on one hit. You can still boost up the strength of this build. We could use, for example, more attack power like here, so we have less vitality, but I don't really find it necessary because it's just 15% on top, and yeah, here we just have more vitality. So that's the one-shot build. That was top number 4, and see you guys in build number 5. Bye. Coming to our next build, I just realized I started the recording. I didn't start the recording from the previous one, so yeah, I need to do it again. But yeah, so coming to our last build, which is the Quen Ursine or beer school build, focusing on Quen. We jump into it immediately. So we are using a difference. We are using here the steel and the silver sword of the Ursine armor, with a difference with the anti-lesion decoction for stamina regeneration. We're using the crossbow just because we have it, so it just suits to the build, but we don't actually need it. We're having Quen intensity again, and here we're using levity. So because we are having the whole set together, the damage dealt by abilities involving the Quen sign is increased by 200%. Also, the damage will be attacked to the opponent. We're having fast attacks, strong attacks, so we're having some variety to give like a stronger damage. And we're having resolve and razor focus as usual. We're using this time exploding shield and Quen intensity, not active shield and Quen discharge. We don't use active shield because it brings off the flow, and we don't really need it. And the Quen discharge, yeah, we don't really need the reflection because we're dealing a good amount of damage. Nothing changed here. We use our typical four alchemies. And this one is focusing on Euphoria because we are having sign intensity and attack power. So, getting on the build, we are having here a difference. We're having 91% of sign intensity, so it is different, a bit in the beginning stronger than the other ones. So if we, for example, push already with our decoctions, so we have the Ancient Lash decoction, Troll decoction, so we don't get any damage because of our high toxicity. Then we're boosting up our damage of up to 8,000 and 6,000 for Steel Sword. And our sign intensity boosts up the most actually, so that's the interesting part. So for example, we are spawning our Quen and spawning some enemies. Being here, we're having our Quen shield. Interesting thing about here, we can use also all other signs, which I kind of like about this build. So it is a hybrid build. It is a bit weaker than the other ones because it's just not super overpowered in one situation. But here we can... Okay, now we need to check out. We're having okay, not way higher, but we're having a higher endurance, which we're getting back. So the longer the fight actually gets, the faster the endurance moves back. and it is still a fun build. So it brings some good variety in my opinion, because we can use Igni. So we have a lot of variety what you can play. Now we're having our full adrenaline points, 271 sign intensity. And here now they're slowing down. They're taking more damage. And always get the Quench build, Quench sign, because it mostly holds 2 points. And what is also pretty interesting is we can easily use Axi and then doing some crazy amount of damage with actually just 1 hit. So just being here, doing a strong attack, and every enemy is actually 1 shot. So let's try it another time. We are spawning 3. Interesting part about this one. Okay, wait. That's the thing what I don't really enjoy about strong attacks. With a controller, in my opinion, it is more difficult to hold it. So the reaction of it is a bit different. But we're doing everything 1 shot. So for example, if we want to load, it doesn't really go that smooth. Fast attack is, in my opinion, easier with the controller. But yeah, still a pretty strong build, pretty fun, using some signs as well with the beer school technique, beer school armor. So definitely something to try out. So that was actually the whole video about the top 5 beer school builds. My favorite, and also my opinion the strongest one you can build in this game. There's still some changes you can do, but I mostly explained a lot like why I choose this path. So you can always have a stronger damage, you can always have more vitality, but then you have a lack of, let's say, enjoyment or playthrough. So I always do it as the best, fun, strongest way possible with the most effective way. So because the range of the swords are not good, so I always focus on the increase of that and also the Quen intensity. There's also ways, for example, you can boost the build up to, let's say, 200k damage or whatsoever, but that's not necessary in my opinion, because anything is anyways 1 shot. So if you like this video with our top 5 builds in the short version and having the long version as separate video, please let me down in the comments. It was more fun, and also if you want to find out more details, I will link down all different long format videos down below in this video, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.